So, hello. Today we're going to talk about how Toronto Defiant beat Atlanta Reign on Brawl using Double Bubble, and like how they defended Anubis B for 6 minutes using superior positioning and ultimate usage. So let's look at the comps. Toronto Defiant are running Echo Sombra, and this is pretty standard. It used to be a pretty standard comp like Echo Sombra. Nowadays you see more Echo Tracer or Ash Tracer, but especially Korean contenders, they like Ash Tracer, but Echo Sombra is still really good. And how it will work is that the Sombra will take angles, farm EMP, look for hacks when Sado goes in, all those type of Sombra stuff, but nice, I don't know how to pronounce, but nice, he'll just be looking to follow up with Sado and just poke while Sado's not in. Meanwhile, the goal is for in neutral situations, the core, Michelle, Ansunjae, and Ansunjae, I don't know, last row will look to maintain their distance until Michelle has high energy. In which case, when Michelle has high energy, then the core can move closer to support Sado's engages, along with nice then Hisu's pincering from the back, ideally. Not Nice isn't gonna really flank like a Tracer. He's just probably gonna use high ground and a height advantage just to create another angle. So anyways, Atlanta are running standard Brawl with the Mei Kree, and the Mei is useful for rotations and it's useful for kind of limiting Sado's aggression a bit, but it's not that useful, honestly. He's still gonna get bubbled, and he still has a bubble to use, and he can just dance around it. So Mei, in terms of utility, her only big utility is the wall, and Blizzard isn't really that good unless it somehow lands on the core, and the core probably will be looking to play around that. So let's look at this. And by the way, this Hisu, he'll absolutely farm this comp. Sombra is strong against comps that really don't have long range poke pressure or utility based on that supports long range poke pressure, such as Mercy, Zen, heroes like Ash, for example, are really good at just blowing up Sombras on the flank and forcing them to translocate. But this comp only has really Diva. Kree can try to poke out Sombra. It won't be really hard though. And yeah, this comp just is limited poke, so Hisu will absolutely farm. That's what he'll be trying to do. So Hawk has to try to contain Hisu somewhat, or otherwise he'll get too much value. So Hisu shooting. But as you can see, it takes Hawk quite a bit of time just to react. Hawk should be immediately. As you can see, Hisu shooting him in the back. And where's Sado? Sado is right here. As you can see, he's looking to circle. This is important. He doesn't go head on. He circles around, puts pressure on the enemy, on Atlanta's back line, and forces them to look back at Hisu and Sado, and gives time for the core to get some value based on it. Nading, maybe Bragan can even put in some cheeky swings, but this is risky. Zori will be able to right click and farm energy off of Sado. So I think right here they're just trying to take it slow because they don't have ultimates yet. Don't have any major. Now they have duplicate, now they have primal, and they want to get Michelle energy. So look, they're just kind of non-committal right now. They're just looking to use Sado soft engages to build energy and build ults. But now Sado has primal, and primal's gonna be really good if Atlanta screws up their positioning. And look, Massa is mispositioned, so now and more importantly, when Sado goes in, the core now pushes up, and you have to get this. Double Bubble is fundamentally a Brawl comp. it's like a brawl comp with like a bit of dive flavor, but it's still a brawl comp. And part of it being a brawl comp is that like eventually your backline will have to move. Like I interchange core and backline, but like they're basically the same because like eventually like the core or backline will have to like go aggressive. And like the thing that separates Double Bubble from Rein comps is just firstly like you can like you close the distance not by like holding a shield for your team for your backline or having like a diva DM rotations, but like you just use your monkey who can escape, who can just go in, like drop from high ground if there's high ground, or just walk into, get the bubble, and in that time, 2-3 second window, like the core can look to move closer or rotate to better position, or like even like rotate to an aggressive flank position. That's another possibility. Try to flip the map. So like now Sato punishes Massa for being mispositioned, and yeah, that's the fight. And like you see the core goes in, and look, this is pretty clean by Toronto. Like KDG, who coaches Toronto, like he has a lot of experience with the Double Bubble comp already, coaching Philly last year, who has played a lot of Double Bubbles. But like this experience clearly shows. Like Toronto defines like Double Bubble, it's so clean. Like on Brawl they look a bit less cleaner. Maybe Sato is not as good as a Rein as he is a Winston, but like I think this is their best comp right now, and KDG has a lot to do with it. So just as we saw in the Chengdu video, like I did earlier today, as you can see now they have ultimate, so they're gonna look for aggressive hold. So like that's why they're holding forward positions, and like they're set to like punish like Atlanta for like going in if they run in main, because like they're already walking into angle. So like Atlanta, they don't want to be walking in main, they want to be rotating either left side or right side, or at least like maybe rotate left to clear the angles first before walking in. And part of playing Brawl properly against like Double Bubble is like you really need to use your early fight advantage. Like early in the fight, if the enemy doesn't have major ults, then you have the advantage somewhat. So you just need to like be aggressive, use ultimates to make space and kind of like prevent the core from like retreating. Use Maywalls and speed boost to like rush the core, while like maybe having your Diva Kree try to clear angles. And like in like neutral situations when like both teams are just staring at each other, like actually like the whole Atlanta don't want to really play that stacked, because like it just makes it easy for like Toronto to stage and get a really good like engagement. Like if you're being engaged by 3 or four angles, like you have Echo, Sombra, Winston, Core, like 4 different angles, then you're toast. Like your defensive abilities only cover 2 angles. 1 angle for Gator, 1 angle for Hawk, no more. Maybe Maywall, but like you don't want to waste a Maywall just to prevent Sombra from poking. So anyway, so they try to rotate left, and now like this Nano this Nano could have been like, I know this Maywall is blocking. I would like to see this Nano a bit earlier, just so they can possibly like, as you can see, this is like Toronto's kill box is really like right here. If they go in, then the Brawl team is safer, because like you can wall off Sato. Like the wall's already used here though, so but like this Nano is really just gonna be a zoning Nano. Maybe have like Neist or Hisu on the flank would be good, like to like so you can pincer while Sato goes in. I think that would be better, just that they don't have enough time to like do that. So this Nano was not ideal, but yeah, it baited out the freeze. If anything, I think they should have used this Nano here. Like now they're going into open space, so you can like try to go in, have nice poke from above, and the core just pushes in. And now they duplicate. Now the core tries to get in. Ooh, nice jump from Michelle. And look at this, Hawk's like mispositioned. I mean, I know Hawk's trying to take an off angle, yeah, but do you really want to be This angle, like, is okay, I guess. Like, they're trying to, like, split attention so they can push through the choke easier. It's just that, like, unfortunately, like, you know, if it doesn't work out, then you can just punish that. And so yeah, it's a decent attempt to take an angle to try to break the choke, but it's still like, so like, but look at this. Importantly, they first clear the angle first with nice, and then they go grab and big shatter. But like, look, the grab, Michelle grabs and they get, and look, this big nade. So like, double bubble, like, engage wise, like, your backline really needs to actively participate in like the fight. And I used to say core a lot, and now I say backline just to emphasize the fact that they have to move up. Just because they're supports doesn't mean, like they say in the back, you don't really do ML7 positions in like double bubble, except maybe at the beginning. Like Lastro, like once this fight happens, Lastro should take angles. Like, okay, let me see this name. And Sunjae should like you know, maybe even brawl. A bit risky, but like it's okay to have Winston in. And Zarya really has to like W key once like Sato's hard engaging into the enemy. Like double bubble like is all about the high energy engages as well in neutral situations. In this case they're grabbing, but still important. So they pop the nano, I mean the bait. Oh, but Kai gets split. Oh, sorry for it. I have my thing bound to the same key, so my forward page bound to the same key as my push to talk for OBS. So, anyways, let's go to like, so he popped the beat, but this is just sloppy positioning, and to a lesser extent, this is also a bit separated, but it's okay. This is like the main problem. So after the beat expires, like here, Lastro does get a huge nade. Lastro gets a huge nade on Atlanta, but now Kaya is just like kind of separated, and Sato uses like, I mean, like, I think Kai should have like maybe yeah, like, okay, let me see what his pre-fight positioning was like. I mean, Atlanta, they do have a fair chance of maybe getting a few kills off of like the beat. Where was Kai? Where was Kai? Or KSP? No, he was so behind. Oh, Kai gets hacked. And like, yeah, Sato just juggles Kai. Like, he was a good hack by Hisu, but like it forced Kai to use his cooldowns, and without mobility cooldowns, he's kind of screwed by Sato. And without Kai, like, they don't have like the damage required to finish this fight, even with the beat, and they popped the rally to survive anyway. So, oh, the stagger. Burns a bit of time, that's good. Okay, now, like, they have the... Ooh, so now they EMP, engage, and... So now they engage with the EMP, And yeah, like so Atlanta push left side. Like if they notice EMP is here, like Hawk should try like scout out this EMP at least, like clear this angle, clear like maybe clear this area, try to like scout out Hisu, and then you can try to like force him back. But in this case, you're just walking into the EMP, and yeah, look, this is important. So when they EMP, they don't just walk through this choke. So they have a Hisu EMP this way, Sato jumps this way, but like the core go this way, pincer. And where's Nice? I mean, Nice is like an aerial threat, so like he could, but he flies like with the core. Yeah. And yeah, this is just a clean fight from Toronto. Don't know if they needed the nano in even. Let's see if they actually needed the nano. So I don't think they needed a nano. Like Kai's almost dead. Sato's like still healthy. Tsunjay is a bit low, probably brawling a bit too much. But Iris is low, Massa is low. They killed Immor. They didn't need the nano. And like they already get the hack on Iris even, so like they can't even sustain themselves with regen burst or anything. And they kill Iris after, so that nano was necessary. But they still have like Echo alt them, duplicate them, and yeah, and graph. So this fight was interesting because I actually think Atlanta could actually win like at least like the first fight before Toronto come back to like stall. So right here, no, actually it was the next fight, but I like this from like I like this aggression from Sato because this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is risky because like the core has a really long distance to like push up to contribute to this fight, but Hisu gets a hack and Sato just juggles everyone. But look, like even this might not even be that risky because you can see Sato jumps in, gets the Maywall. I'm not sure why Gator isn't swinging at Sato. Like well, I think he's afraid of the hack from Sombra. But like this Maywall like may buy some time, but does he get the bubble as well? So he gets the bubble as well, and like he pops his own bubble, and then he has primal. So this isn't even that risky. They can just go in. Like the core has enough time to like push up to contribute to this fight. And oh, it's another brutal stagger. No, it was this fight that was interesting. Like Atlanta have 5 ults. Hisu's close to EMP, but like here's the thing with double bubble like versus brawl. Like brawl ults are pretty bad. High Noon is a zoning ult. Blizzard is also kind of a zoning ult with this mobility. Maybe if you can land on a core, it's okay, but not this. Shatter is overrated, honestly. Yeah, Diva Bomb is good, but you really need like combined pressure from your team, and like if Toronto set up angles beforehand, it's gonna be hard to get that pressure because like if they push, they're gonna be ganked from angles, like behind from the sides. Like you can't really do that. Beat Engage is a powerful tool, but I don't really see them using that many beat engages. They have to like use it to defend against like grabs, and if they hide maybe EMPs, maybe nano engages, but they're just being forced to use their ults defensively. So that's why I think Double Bubble right now is stronger than Brawl, especially after this experimental patch. It's gonna like nerf not only Rein but like sustain from BAP. And more importantly, like once like Double Bubble get their good ult rotation and they do it well, then it's gonna be a nightmare to play against. like every time you push, you feel that you just get ulted and die. So right here, Sado tries to like... Sado goes in there. Where's the nano? Let me see this closer again. So Sado gets nanoed. Does he get... This might be a bit too early because they can just kite it back. Yeah, this was too early. They just kited it. There's... Like in the previous example, there was an EMP, but... I think they were afraid of having the core push up because Michelle is low energy. Like before, they were just content with like aggressive engages, or like they just wanted to play around EMP. They didn't want to do anything too aggressive. Some good restraint from Toronto, but that nano was too early. Okay, now like Sado tries to like interrupt the rotation, doesn't work, but it farms energy for Michelle, most important part. Like, I mean, like, his engage didn't really, like, force out cooldowns, like, unlike you want to force out cooldowns ideally, but if not, just farm energy for Michelle and it's okay. So right here, yeah, like, Gator just walks through the choke and boom. The beat is just cut off. Great bubble by Sado to cut off the beat. But what I think they should have done is they should have waited for Maywall to come back and then tried to like make some space for the Maywall, or like they could have a Hawk go in just to make like go in aggressively, bomb just to make space, and then like whatever it is. Like Atlanta's problem is that they're pushing for a choke. And a choke in which Toronto have like a lot of ultimates. Like, however you put it, it's almost impossible to win this fight. Not even if you pop all 5 ultimates. So they beat to try to survive, but it doesn't matter. The Ryan's dead. GG push. No, this is just like a nightmare for Atlanta. They have 5 ults, but Hisu's EMP, and Sombra is probably the key tool against like brawl comps, because not only can Sombra just poke from range from like angles like this, but also like EMP, it just cancels all of these ults. Like if you pop EMP early enough, like you can't even pop these ults before you all die. So right here, Hisu pops EMP and look there. I would have preferred, maybe as a minor nitpick, I would have preferred Sado to like go in from the side, but or like, you know, even just jump in. He has primal and then try to go for the back line, but it doesn't matter. I think Lastro does get a big nade off of that, and yeah, that's a fight. Yeah, good target focus on that Immor though. Well, even though that Immor was pretty exposed. Probably not the ideal place Immor. They don't get Iris. Well, they do. In the EMP, I mean. And yeah, that's just another fight they win. They were looking for this. Oh. Hawk was just trying to like get remech using the spawn. That cheeky technique. So now, like, look, this is a really common thing when like the defending team is like is almost like going to win hold. Then like, for example, on the control maps, if you're close to 80% and you have the point, then you might choose to go aggressive, because like the thing is that some people will be panicking to rush point, like to just like contest the point. And like what you can do is that like you can set up like angles around that they don't have time to clear. Like they only have 17 seconds and they have to spend some time walking. So like look, I like this from Toronto Defiant. They're using their time, they're using the time pressure to like force the aggressive engage. Sato just like, you know, goes in, and more importantly the back line or the core goes in as well. The core like contribute aggressively again, and they didn't even need to pop rally. Massa tries to touch point, but by then it's already over. Atlanta gets some picks, but Toronto respawns, and more importantly, does it even matter once, because Toronto also has picks. And yeah, like this is just well played by Toronto. They made some micro mistakes, but like there were like really few things I would change about that round if I were Toronto. So anyways, yeah, that's like a really good example of how you play double bubble against Brawl, and like this should just show like double bubble is just the stronger comp. Like I know like Brawl is really annoying to play into, but annoying is the most you can say about it. If you like cycle your ults properly, and like you set up your angles properly, and you have your core push up like when it's, you know, appropriate with your divers, then like it's just gonna, there's nothing that Brawl can really do. Like Brawl has to like look for, Brawl has to play really split. Well, not really split, but just like Brawl has to play angles like before the mid fight just to like poke out, you know, Winston for example, or like they have to like use tempo ultimates to try to rush your core like beat, or like they have to use like zoning ultimates like High Noon to make space, so they can. But even then, like like High Noon or Window, all it is just gonna zone enemies and give you a bit of time, but it isn't gonna do much against like angles and stuff. So yeah, like this is just perfect example. And so yeah, hope that was helpful.